Hello YouTube, it has been a minute. This is Thor, back with another weekly vault video. This is my first vault video for Season 3. Some things have changed a little bit. I'm playing a Death Knight as my main character this season. But we've got a few boxes to open this week. I managed to convince some friends to carry a few of my alts through some 18s so we can get some myth track pieces and get a few of these alts going. We're going to start this week on my druid, who I've been playing balance as so far this in the one key that I've done it this season. Let's go ahead and open it up and see if we can get something a little bit nice. And we've got a Alright, a coagulated Genosaur blood. Yeah, this is not a bad option. It'll be quite the upgrade over the current trinkets that I have, at least on item level. So we'll see which one we're going to use that over. I love the new customizations for Moonkin too. The old Moonkin form looks incredibly ridiculous. Alright, so next up we're going to go over to the mage. Now this character was hard carried through an 18 Everbloom. Never mind the DPS meters. Please don't look at the DPS meters. It was certainly a key that this character had no business being in. We'll see if we get unjustly rewarded with something nice in the vault. Just for a little bit of context on what's going on this season. So I mentioned I've been playing Blood DK, or I mentioned I've been playing Death Knight. I've been playing Blood as my main spec, both in keys and in raid. I'm also raid leading for my guild this season. Alright, we've got a nice little myth track belt here. That's going to replace a 424 crafted belt. So yeah, we'll take that for sure. Yeah, I've been raid leading as a Blood DK for my guild. I'm trying to get some of these DPS alts going in case I feel like moving over to DPS rather than tanking for raid leading is a good idea in future seasons. I'd like to at least have that option. Although it hasn't been a huge problem so far. I think there are some fights where I feel like the cognitive load gets a little bit high for both correctly executing tank swaps and positioning and things, and also calling out mechanics that are just not on my radar as a tank. You know, there are things that are like super important for the raid to be aware of that don't actually happen to the tank. I'm getting better about keeping track of those and calling things out. But yeah, we need to improve on that, and I'm thinking maybe having the option of at least doing some alt raids as a DPS will help me kind of open my mind to those moments. So next up, we're going to look at the Evoker. This is my most geared alt at 450 item level. Still wearing mostly 447 gear from last season. And I did a 18 Black or Cold, I believe, on this character. Didn't get anything from the dungeon, but we'll see. Okay. Yeah, we'll take that trinket. Not the best for Og, but that would be really nice for preservation if I do end up healing on this character. So, yeah. I'm not going to complain about a usable 480 item. And now we've got the big vault. We've got the DK's vault. So the guild is currently 8 out of 9 heroic in Amir Drasil. We had some heartbreaking wipes on heroic Farak last Thursday. I know a lot of guilds are pushing into Mythic, pushing clearing heroic already, but we're a 2-night guild, and this tier was a little bit of a step up in difficulty compared to Avarice. I'm happy with the progress we've made. We just got to clean up our seeds in phase 3 of Farak, and I think we can get it pretty quickly this week. We had a 14% wipe, and then my power went out last Thursday. And then the guild had a 7% wipe after I went down. I wasn't able to get back on before the end of raid time. But let's, yeah. So DK is actually looking pretty good so far this season. We're at 482 item level. I've been pretty lucky with my vaults. I did take a socket 1 week for my crafted bracers, but I've gotten myth track in 3 tier slots so far. I have a heroic Farak trinket, or this is a normal Farak trinket, so the heroic one would be even better. I would really love to see a myth track Razan's Gleaming Eye. This trinket absolutely pumps, and yeah, getting some item level on that would be really cool. I'd be a little bit sad to lose the speed that I procced on this champion track one, but I'd be happy with any usable myth track item here. So let's pop some coolies and see what we get. We're opening an Unholy Spec because I got a cheat death trinket traded to me out of the heroic yesterday. Okay, we've got some boots. So these would be a usable myth track piece. I don't think any of these in the raid are interesting to me. This ring actually, that is really tempting. I don't have any like high mastery rings right now, and I do want high mastery for Unholy. And also, that's kind of how I've been gearing for Blood. And then there's a Mythtrack Porcelain Crab. I don't really see a world where I use this trinket very much. I know a lot of melee are looking for this trinket, but like I'm pretty set on tanking with these two, and then also with the cheat death trinket, and then using Rezons with the hero track mirror is probably the play for Unholy. I do have an Ember of Nullification too, which I know is kind of good for some specs. I don't think it's good for DPS DKs. Man, I don't know. This is kind of a toss-up for me between the rings and the boot. Let's run a sim here. Let's run a sim. Actually, I don't really want to run a sim. So I take the boots. I do get a strength upgrade, which is nice. The ring gives me some stat flexibility, though. I do have 2 crafted rings already that have sockets, so... And I can get more stat flexibility just by recrafting those on my jewel crafting alt. I think I'm going to go with the Mythtrack boots. This is a pretty easy upgrade. We'll be up to 489 in another slot, and we'll get a little bit of armor out of it, a little bit of strength out of it. I'm basically trading haste for some verse and a good chunk of mastery, which I kind of like. Although my haste is getting a little bit low, but I can play around with crafted items to get that back up. I've talked myself into it. I'm just going to take these boots. I'll take these boots and be happy with it. So nothing insane this week. I am going to go ahead and enchant these. But yeah, let's take a minute and talk about what the affixes are this week and how those might have an impact on what we're doing. So this week we've got Fortified, Afflicted, and Raging. Raging with Fortified is not as crazy as it used to be when it was a damage increase, but there are going to be some spots where that gets really, really ugly when you're not able to send like AoE stops on mobs. I'm thinking the hallways before the last boss in Throne of Tides might be really, really nasty if you're not able to CC the 8 mages or however many there are that start casting. Yeah, there might be some spots where that gets a little bit rough. Afflicted is a frustrating affix because not that many people are actually able to deal with the mobs. Like as a DK, there's literally nothing I can do to help with that affix, and you know, on the one hand, it's kind of nice that you don't really have to think about it, but on the other hand, it really sucks when there's things that happen in the game that can cause you to die or your party to wipe, and you don't have any tools available to help out or deal with them. So that's yeah. It's also a fortified week, so bosses should be generally easier, at least until you get into the mid-20s, and then you'll want to be very careful on your trash pulls in dungeons. I'm thinking I'm going to be busting out the cheat death trinket so I can just play pretty recklessly, but one of the other things you need to consider when tanking is like, you don't want to just pull what you can handle. You need to think about the other party members. If you pull super aggressively and you survive, but your party is just chain wiping to whatever you're fighting, then, well, that's not being a very good tank. Alright, we'll upgrade these boots, and then we'll go ahead and equip them. So that brings us up over 483. We need to mog these these boots. They don't match our transmog at all. Although I'm still wearing the Christmas outfit, so nothing is super matchy right now. Well, thank you everyone who decided to tune in and watch this. If you've made it to this point in the video, please give it a like and a comment down below. Let me know what you got in your vault, if there's anything fun waiting for you this week. And if you haven't checked it out, please go over to Twitch and check out the stream. I'll put a link in the description. It's twitch.tv/Thordrenick. We're streaming our raids this season, which are Tuesday and Thursday at 9 o'clock Pacific. We go until about midnight. And then I'm also trying to stream one time on the weekend, either on Friday or Saturday. Or not Friday, Saturday or Sunday. And we're going for a couple hours, playing some WoW, checking out some other games as we have a downtime and bandwidth. And yeah, that's just what's going on right now. So thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video or over on the stream. Peace.